Yep, wash day here, nothing much to report. So, yeah. Okay, well, she's off and running. So that's, right, out we go. Hopefully the camera will adjust to the light. Oh, yeah, sunny, and it started getting windy. It's supposed to be a raining day today, but I suppose that's a storm coming in. So, oh, yeah, let's get the spot colour on there. Only one real thing to report, but I'll show you that in a minute. Just usual thing here. Show you how to do it. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it should wetten up over there a little bit more over there, I think. Okay, yeah, there we go, almost there. I'm developing skills, but getting better. Okay, that's about it there, so back to the normal area. Yeah. Because I know with the general shots, it gets a little bit grainy if I put the macro function on there, spot culling. Okay, this one seems to be settling quite nicely, and the flower stalk, I don't know if you can tell that, it seems to be shifting to the right. The flower stalk is moving to the right. Does that mean we're going to get a root down there? We're going to get new growth coming from that side? I don't know. I have talked about roots, and Venus flytraps seem to be quite strange and funny. The fact that every leaf will grow a root, but only after it's coming off the back end of the rhizome, sort of thing, usually, from my experience anyway, of 40 plus years of being in the bizzo sort of thing, being in the game as I speak. So maybe having the iron in the soil is a way that you force the roots to grow. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It just seems that flower stalk, if you've looked at the photographs or the JPEGs from only like 4 double flushes ago, it was more central. Now it seems to be like shifting sideways. So, so is this a way we can actually trigger extra growth as well as have a flower stalk on the plant at the same time? Yeah. See, if I go to now 49 area, it should change in quality, get a lot better. Anyway, still no real obvious sign of this responding, which is strange. Yeah, this one keeps getting better and better. As I said, it's been a number of days now, and still no. Whereas this one here just keeps getting better and better. And I suggested to Gideon that he wants to get some of this composted orchid bark. Yeah. So he has to probably make sure that his is top quality or something. But then again, see, we have a lot of Pinus radiata in this country, the Monterey pine, which was imported from overseas and didn't grow well until they actually also imported the mycorrhizae to go with it, of course, which, the rules don't apply to them. The rules that apply to you are different to the rules that apply to themselves. Yes. So, anyway, I don't know if this one's actually going to make a move, this one over here. So it'd be interesting. But I have noticed it's got this sort of, the reddening of the tip. Now, Meredith Rayner did come up with this concept with, not Veronica's, Vaccinium. Vaccinium? Yeah, okay. Yeah, Vaccinium oxycoccus is the cranberry. It used to be called Oxycoccus, and then they changed it to Vaccinium oxycoccus, apparently, unless it was an intermediate name change that I know nothing about. One of these things went one thing to that and then changed it to that and then it went back again. I have noticed in some things what was it, the Helium 4? Remember in the old CPN black and whites? And this is where my knowledge comes in handy. Helium 4 was Chrysam 4 originally. Well, it was Helium 4, they went to Chrysam 4 and then went back to Helium 4, if I remember right. They may have got that wrong, but it definitely wasn't Helium 4 when I first got onto the black and white CPN, so I was learning another name, sort of thing. And even though I think I'd read Helium 4 in the old Tropica and Botanica and Tropica, the two massive volume books that had basically occasional colour photographs in one of them, I think. And you know, you had like a section of colour photographs, if I remember. Oh, it's going back years now, fellas. And most of the others were black and white, you see. So you know, you try and look at all these plants in black and white photographs. You know, it's very hard. Though I must admit, there are some classic icon photographs in CPN that are in black and white. So there you go. Yeah, so anyway, let's see, here we go. Oh, we're still on 49 here. So, yeah, whether it's going to make a move over there, whether it's going to allow me to try and have another go at getting into tissue culture, I don't know, so on and so forth. But yeah, the weather this morning was getting really ramping up until this sort of wind came in, and apparently it's supposed to be raining this afternoon, but it's hard to believe, isn't it? So, yeah, this one seems to be doing some odd things on the leaves. So yeah. Oh, the other thing was that this flower stalk, it went really dark, and now it's going back to being green again. Is that what happens if they don't have enough nitrogen supply? They sort of it flashes red because it's grabbing the starch in there or something and converting the starch into a material that they can then sort of, you know, form a mycorrhizal relationship with the organisms underneath the sand, and that's why it sort of reddens up around the area. Because have you noticed the leaf now here, if I go to Spot Cullen, it's got that sort of look to it, you know. You see some internet photographs, that sort of glossy, almost getting into pitting sort of stage that this sort of leaf went through early on, sort of thing. It's still glossy, but I think the pitting there is diminished. Whether it's going to come back later on in the season when the temperature really ramps up, but yeah, the traps are getting really colourful, and even the tines or the spines of the leaves are getting quite colourful as well. But it still hasn't made a move because the flower stalk really hasn't got to the end of its life. So this thing that Meredith Rayner talked about, if I get back into my train of thought, she had this idea that the mycorrhizas could go up through the plant and actually deposit in the on the seed on the outside of the tester while the seeds are still growing, sort of thing. And that might be what this. I don't know if you can see it. If I put my hand behind it and I buggered the camera, I think. Can you see that there? That sort of red dot area there. Is that what's going on there? I don't know, fellas. I think I buggered the camera. I pushed something on there. Anyway, just an idea that Meredith Rayner's idea with the ling plant or heather, Vaccinium, it's a genus. Hang on, what's the species name? It's just Vaccinium, isn't it? Anyway. Okay, this one, yeah, I don't know, it doesn't look quite the same, but the flower stalk is still gone wonky too. That happened yesterday. So, does the flower stalk track the sun? On some plants for some reason, but not on others. I don't know. Interesting. Whether that's the difference between some of these Dionaea forms, you know, some do track the sun, some don't.